It's Rami X. I'm in this video. To get the next part, you'll have to, I guess you could say, get 10 likes on this video for part 1. Anyways, so I also have my collab done. Scripted. And I'll be recording it, and it should come out this weekend. Excuse me. Sorry, I had to go to the doctor's earlier today because I wasn't feeling so good. Because, my throat, I don't know if you can kind of hear my voice, but yeah. Anyways, I'm going to get through this as fast as I can because I want to do an unscripted part of this at the end. I'll tell you when I'll start unscripting it, and then you can tell me if I could upload a what if each week that's unscripted. Anyways, well, I don't know, because some people don't mind the stuttering. Some people do. And in every, what if YouTube, there's going to be, a few stutters because, I guess you just can't really control that. Well, you can, but yeah. Anyways, this is what if Shisui had the Rinnegan part 1. A few things before I can get into the story. So how I think this can happen is that Shisui is on a mission and he is ambushed, but these ninja are very, very fast and are able to slice his arm off, making him have to get serious using his Susanoo, fleeing the area. He then got back to the leaf and they used Hashirama's DNA to heal his arm. And this is when he's about 9, so his body has time to fully fuse with the Hashirama cells, if you will. When he's about 13, he encounters one of the 7 ninja swordsmen in the mist. They fight, and Shisui tries to escape, but he then uses Samehade, which we know is Shisui, and we know is Kisame, and he figures out that it's Kisame. They try to hammer into Shisui, but Shisui's Rinnegan ability then awakened. He already had learned all the other Rinnegan abilities, but he hadn't learned the Deva Path in his personal Rinnegan ability. He then learned the first ability of the Deva Path, which was Repulsion. He then pulled Kisame towards him as he then jumped out of the way, as he then sent Kisame flying with an almighty push, which was Depulsion, I believe. Flying, he then blinked as Kisame was then running away from Shisui, as Shisui then awakened a separate ability that allowed him to create a portal in which he was then able to get in front of Kisame. He then said Bancho Teni, and as Kisame then went towards him, as Shisui pulled his sword out, and Kisame went right through it, being stabbed through his chest. As Shisui then used the Asura Path, slicing Kisame's body, and then pulled out his sword and used a Nucha-style Great Fireball Jutsu, as Kisame was then burnt and died. Shisui then reported back to Hiruzen his achievement, and making Shisui Itachi the 5th Hokage became more prominent in his head, because he realized that they had gained much more strength and much more intelligence than the previous Shisui, who was probably already Kage level. And they had made their names known, but he knew that it would be a detrimental mistake to do that at their age. Anyways, and it would be, I guess you could say, a very bad decision. And it was also due to the fact that they served the village and put it above their own clan's well-being. A few years later, Shisui was wandering through the village as he saw a blonde-haired boy being picked on. This was Naruto Uzumaki. He then said, "Wait, it can't be the NineTails Jinchuriki," as he then body flickered into the middle of one of the bullies, punching Naruto. As he then picked up the bully, this was a bit unscripted, this fighting scene, if you will, but it doesn't really matter. He then picked up to the bully and then threw him up into the air, as he then threw a ton of shuriken that almost hit him, just scaring the bully, because that was his main objective. He didn't want to hurt the bully, he just wanted to scare the bully into, I guess you could say, being scared, and to show Naruto that bullies aren't too tough. He then jumped into the air as he then kicked that bully down to the ground, knocking him out. He then jumped and swooped under one of the bullies, punching him into a tree stub, and then threw a kunai at them, leaving him there. He then Bancho Teni'd one of the bullies right to him, and then chopped them right into their neck, as they then got knocked out. He then kicked one of the bullies, jumped into the air, went into a splits position, as he then slammed both of his legs into 2 of the bullies' heads. He then twisted them up into the air, as they then fell to the ground, knocked out as well. He then picked up one of the bullies' heads, threw him up to the air, Bancho Teni them to the ground. As he did, he kneed them, knocking him out, as he then threw him to the ground, almost killing him. As he then jumped to the ground with one leg, almost breaking one of the bully's spines. Naruto then said, "Thank you. And what's your name?" Shisui Uchiha. Naruto then asked, "Are we related, Shisui?" Shisui then replied, "No, why, Naruto?" Naruto then said, "Ninja in this village or civilians would never help me, let alone save me. I've been bullied my whole life because I don't have a father or a mother, because my parents died in the NineTails incident or attack," shedding a tear as he then walked away from Shisui, saying, "Thank you very much," as Shisui then asked Naruto if he wanted to be Shisui's son. Naruto then said, "What do you mean?" As Shisui said, "I can adopt you, and then I can make sure you're never bullied again." Naruto then agreed to become Shisui's son. Naruto then went to Shisui's house and slept in his new room. The next morning, he went downstairs and Shisui had made him breakfast as he left a note saying that he would on a mission, but he would like him to start training on learning the multi-shadow clone jutsu and the fireball jutsu, which Naruto did with ease by creating shadow clones. That process doing it, and once they popped, he kind of learned it, figuring out the shadow clone training tip. And for the rest of the day, he beat up the clones, and also I'm going to be giving Naruto wind, fire, lightning, and water release. Because those are some of Minato and Kushina's chakra natures. Anyhow, Shisui then returned early from his mission as he saw Naruto fighting his clones, as Shisui clapped, getting his attention as he sent the clones to attack Shisui as they all used fireball jutsu, and Shisui did the same with his intangible copies as they then dispelled each other's attacks as Shisui's intangible copies defeated Naruto's clones, as Shisui said, "Good job, Naruto," as he then said, "With that move, you could beat a Genin, Chunin, and maybe a Jonin with enough of them." He also remarked that you can't really make a clone, or at least a proper one, because you have so much chakra, not a single one at least. As Naruto then said, "Oh, okay, I guess that's why I failed in that aspect of the academy." Creating 300 shadow clones to show Shisui, as Shisui said, "How?" As he then said, That's 100 more than I can make, at most." As he then said, "The next jutsu I'll be teaching you is the body flicker," as an Anbu alerted Shisui that Kagome Uchiha, his father, had sadly passed away from his leg injury. As Naruto then said, "Kagome died?" Shisui said, "Yeah, but it's alright. I know he entrusted you a gift, the Sharingan, right?" Naruto then shook his head yes, as Shisui told the Anbu to bring him his body. As he did, Shisui then took his eyes and safely transplanted them into Naruto's. And Naruto could handle the 3 Tomoe Sharingan, which was the Sharingan that Kagome had, due to the fact that he was an Uzumaki. Shisui then said, Tomorrow we will start training. We will start Sharingan training and physical training and Kenjutsu training." As Naruto then smiled. The next morning, Naruto ate and went to train with Shisui in their backyard, as he made 500 shadow clones, 100 learning Kenjutsu, 25 learning the body flicker, another 25 learning how to use Samehada, 200 using the Sharingan training, another 100 to also use the body flicker training, and the others did like physical training. But next week, Naruto had learned all 3, and his blade was the legendary blade Samehada, which had taken a liking to him with his kind-hearted nature. And his grades in the academy started to go up as well. And one day, Shisui was training Naruto, and he used 10 shadow clones, Also, his grades had started to go up in the academy due to the fact that he was actually able to control his chakra better here. And not create a clone, but he was able to create multiple clones flooding the room. Whew. This is actually a lot now that I think about it, but I can do this. Anyways, Naruto then created 1,000 shadow clones, so he said, "No, I want to fight you now, Shisui. I'm going to beat you." As he then created another 1,000, getting knocked out, which he then appeared in front of the NineTails in his subconscious, and for the first time in his life meeting the NineTails Fox, who Naruto asked for chakra, and he reluctantly agreed and gave Naruto chakra. As all of his clones used the NineTails chakra as they pressured Shisui into using Almighty Push on all the clones in the universe, while pulling them onto the original Naruto, as the original Naruto yelled as they all popped. As he then teleported behind Naruto, knocking Naruto out. Also, this gave the NineTails the chance to control Naruto's body, as then Naruto used the 1 tails, then the 2, then 3, as he then slammed his claws into the ground as it didn't disrupted the earth or the ground. creating a shockwave that hurt Naruto. Naruto's eyes then started to burn as they were turning and activating into the 3 Tomoe Sharingan, as he then jumped into the air and stabbed Shisui, a surprise Shisui, because Shisui would not be off guarded by a 3 Tails Naruto. Well, he could, but no, not this Shisui, because he has the Rinnegan. But yeah, so he then stabbed Shisui, making it so that he couldn't move. He then started slicing Shisui's body, but it was covered by a chest plate, so it wasn't really doing anything. As he then transformed into the 4 Tails using a tail beast bomb, but Shisui already pushed it, a pseudo tail beast bomb, like that light wave that he used on Orochimaru in his 4 Tails state, Naruto. That is in Shippuden, but he was then able to almighty push it back into Naruto, kind of almost exploding and killing Naruto. Naruto then transformed to the 5-tailed and then 6-tailed, as Naruto then Bancho Tenied Naruto towards him, as he then kicked Naruto with a flurry of attacks, and then they kind of started brawling, though Naruto was in 6-tailed form. It was kind of weird, but they were still doing like taijutsu fighting, as, excuse me, sorry, I have like this throat injury today. I don't know if you can tell, but yeah. Anyways, he then transformed into the 7 Tails, as Shisui said, oh no, as he then pulled out his seal, saying, I'm such a bad father already, as he then threw 100 seals into the air, as he then multiplied them, saying, one of these will hit him, as Kirama then got angry that an Uchiha would try to put him back into his Jinchuriki, releasing even more chakra, making Naruto go into the 8 Tails. Naruto was then kind of manipulated by the 9 Tails to pull off the seal, as he was about to do it, but then said no, as he activated his 3 Tomoe Sharingan, putting the 9 Tails under a Genjutsu for a few seconds, as he then was pulled out of it, and he used his chakra to force Naruto and then peeling it off, but it was almost peeled off, as Minato then pushed him down into the ground, as he then flung Naruto to the ground and said, hello, 9 Tails, as the 9 Tails then scoffed, saying, I have a name, it's Kirama, as he then roared at Minato. Minato then said, calm down, as he disappeared into a more calmer area. He then explained everything to Naruto, and introduced himself. They then talked, and Naruto resealed the seal. Minato then said goodbye as he started to disappear, and Naruto said, oh, can we meet up again once this is all sorted out? Minato then said, I can't. I sealed my chakra here. But once you start to try and use the Uzumaki sealing chains, there's a scroll over there, she'll appear. Once you can learn how to control the 9 Tails chakra, she'll help you out. As also, this is the unscripted part. This whole part after he started transforming into the 2 Tails, 3 Tails, 4 Tails. He then appeared in front of the Shibaku Tensei. Well, in real life, Shisui had used the Shibaku Tensei on Naruto, making it pretty much like how it was against Pain. Naruto then was kind of poofed and was on top of the Shibaku Tensei and ran, or kind of swarmed, used a ton of clones, and threw shuriken and kunai at Shisui with paper bombs, as he then used his Susanoo to block them all, as he then threw his lance at Naruto, almost killing him. Then it came right back to him using the boomerang effect, as Naruto then grabbed 3 kunai and with paper bombs on them, exploding and hitting the lance as it stopped it just a bit, slowing it down as he was able to dodge it again. And then went to the ground, as Shisui then said it's over, as he then said almighty push, as Naruto then said no, as he said fireball, as he released a fireball from his hand, not his mouth, and it kind of like made the fireball be pulled and not him. Naruto then jumped out of the way into the air, as he then threw 3 shuriken and then said multi-shadow shuriken jutsu, as a ton of shuriken appeared. He then body flickered onto one of the shuriken that had combined with a ton to make a pretty much a demon wind shuriken. He then jumped onto it as it was flinging into the air, as Shisui then said almighty push, as they all went at Naruto. Naruto then pretty much kunai'd all of them, putting them all into the ground and deflecting them. He then tried to run at Shisui, as Shisui then engaged hand-to-hand taijutsu, real hand-to-hand taijutsu with Naruto, as Naruto was then kicked to the ground, as Shisui then said, "It's over," as he then created 4 shadow clones that then held kunai to Naruto's neck. Anyways, guys, sorry I had to end it right there. It was just convenient for me, and I kind of did have to end it there because the video was getting a bit long, and I couldn't think of anything because it was unscripted, that part. Anyways, so please consider hitting that like and subscribe button, and remember the like goal is 10 likes for a new part, and I might have to change that to 15 because that hurt my head a lot for some reason. I don't really know why. I think I'm just like my body is just like really congested. But yeah, so hit them likes, comment, subscribe, share to a friend that likes what ifs. And yeah, this is Rami X out.